A pinball machine has some things that an arcade or video game experience does not. With pinball, you actually have real physics involved. Not any game that you play of pinball is going to be identical to your last. My father and I would go to an arcade probably about once a week. A lot of times in the 90s, a lot of people would kind of hover around games like Mortal Kombat or Primal Rage, and you would literally have to wait in a line to get the opportunity to play against somebody that is beating everybody before you, or you could just walk up to a pinball machine and put in your quarter or token and away you go. The gentleman that I purchased from was in South Carolina. I got to California in about 5 days. When it arrived, I had a truck that was longer than my entire house in front of my home, and they had this pinball machine in the very, 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 very front of the truck, which is from the reverse side, the longest spot to be. I got to carry that down, and movers brought it right here where it's sitting today. The pinball machine when I purchased was described as that it was in excellent condition and plays great. So with a lot of the research I've done is that if somebody claims that it's in that type of quality, that the pinball machine most likely has been shopped, that they've gone through and anything that is broken has been replaced. And so I was expecting it to arrive in almost a perfect shape, or at least I hoped. It took about 2 days before the awesomeness of having a pinball machine kind of subsided enough that I could look at it and say, okay, these are the things that are not right with this machine. As I started using the machine, I found that all of the lights were not working, and I wasn't sure if they would be simple like a light bulb or if it was wiring. I went in completely having no idea what I was doing, and as soon as I could find any pieces that I knew needed to be fixed, they were ordered. Almost every day a shipment was sent out to my home here for almost a month. Everything from replacing speakers to the plastics were all reproduction, and I wanted it to be original. All of the original plastics I was able to obtain and have those replaced. Put plastic protectors on them to protect them from breaking and getting scratched. That was kind of the fun things to do, was the restoration of the things you can see, but there's a lot of electrical troubles. So I had to learn a lot about what would be the best way to cut wires that would prevent the machine from working altogether, and which wires were responsible for doing which tasks. I had to follow a lot of schematics, lots of charts of wires, and find out where everything was stemming from, where was the problems. By the end of the restoration, I spent about $1,000. Today, it is now what I would call an excellent condition. The speakers were really important to me because this machine is a musical machine, and it's got many modes and plays a lot of my favorite songs from the Who's Tommy. The original speakers were never designed to be good. They just kind of wanted to save cost and kind of throw together a pinball machine and send it to an arcade, which would have multiple machines, and didn't matter if one machine sounded really great. That was one of the first things I wanted to upgrade myself. So I bought a kit that included a subwoofer that is on the bottom of the machine. There's a couple treble speakers that are in the back box where the artwork is located, and a balance control. That was probably my favorite of the upgrades. The story of the Who's Tommy is about a couple meets, and the husband is a soldier and has to go to war. There's a bomber in the back, and there's a couple propellers that spin. And originally they were just painted artwork on pieces of clear plastic, and when they would spin, well, you couldn't really see it during gameplay. Maybe if you were standing on the side you would notice that it was spinning, but it kind of was lost in effect that maybe they were trying to get original. A gentleman online has made several pinball parts, but he designed a reproduction propeller that is made out of a thick black plastic with yellow tips on the end, so that when it spins that you actually see a circle of yellow, but it definitely gives it a better effect. It's kind of neat to see that in play. I think another one of my favorite upgrades to this machine is the LED lights. In this machine there's probably over 170 lights. This generates not only a lot of electricity but heat. and the heat will start to degrade everything. So one of the first things that I wanted to do is replace every single light with an LED-based light. The end result is really quite amazing. When I originally got the machine, I noticed that it had what appeared to be coffee stains in the top right and left of the artwork. I received a original art from eBay and kind of compared the two and found that the color differences and some of the details were a little bit better than what was on the artwork originally when I got the machine. So I custom ordered an anti-glare plexiglass. And when I got it up there, I found that the contrast of the color was way better. But it just provided this, like you're looking at a piece of art. It was kind of neat just to stand back and look at. I'm Michael Argain, and I'm a pinball wizard.